This is How the Camel Got Its Hump by Rudyard Kipling from the Just So Stories collection. Now this is the next step, and it tells how the camel got its hump. In the beginning of years, when the world was so new and all, and the animals were just beginning to work for man, there was a camel, and he lived in the middle of a howling desert because he did not want to work. Besides, he was a howler himself, so he ate sticks and thorns and tamarisks and milkweed and prickles. Most excruciating idle. When anybody spoke to him, he said, "Hump," just hump, and no more. Presently, the horse came to him one day on a Monday morning, with his saddle on his back and a bit in his mouth, and said, "Camel, oh camel, come out and trot like the rest of us." said the camel, and the horse went away and told the man. Presently the dog came to him with a stick in his mouth and said, "Camel, oh camel, come and fetch and carry like the rest of us." said the camel, and the dog went away and told the man. So again the ox came to him with a yoke on his neck and said, "Camel, oh camel, come and plough like the rest of us." said the camel, and the ox went away and told the man. At the end of the day, the man called the horse, the dog, and the ox together, and said, 303, I'm very sorry for you, with the world so new and all, but that hump thing in the desert can't work, or he would have been here by now, so I'm going to leave him alone, and you must work double time to make up for it." That made the three very angry, with the world so new and all, and they had a palaver, and an indaba, and a punch-yet, and a pow-pow on the edge of a desert, and the camel came chewing milkweed most excruciating idle, and laughed at them. He said, "Humph," and went away again. Presently there came along the Jinn in charge of all deserts, rolling in a cloud of dust. Jinns always travel that way, because it is magic. And he stopped to palaver and powwow with the three. "Jinn of all deserts," said the horse, "is it right for anyone to be idle, with the world so new and all?" "Certainly not," said the Jinn. "Well," said the horse, "there's a thing in the middle of your howling desert, and he's a howler himself, with a long neck and long legs, and he hasn't done a stroke of work since Monday morning. He won't trot." "Phew," said the Jinn, whistling, "that's my camel, for all the gold in Arabia. What does he say about it?" "He says, 'Hump,'" said the dog, "and he won't fetch and carry." "Does he do anything else?" "Only hump, and he won't plough," said the ox. "Very good," said the Jinn. "I'll hump him if you will kindly wait a minute." And Jinn rolled himself up against the dust cloak and took a bearing across the desert, and found the camel most excruciatingly idle, looking at his own reflection in a pool of water. "My long bubbling friend," said the Jinn, "what's this I hear about you not doing any work, with the world so new and all?" said the camel. The Jinn sat down with his chin in his hand and began to think a great magic, while the camel looked his own reflection in the pool of water. "You've given 3 extra work ever since Monday morning, all on your account of your excruciating idleness," said the Jinn, and he went on thinking magics with his chin in his hand. "Humph," said the camel. "I wouldn't say that again if I was you," said the Jinn. "You might say it once too often. Bubbles, I want you to work." And the camel said, "Humph," again. But no sooner than he had said it, he saw his back, the back that he was so proud of, puffing up into a great, big, lolly-popping hump. "Do you see that?" said the Jinn. "That's your very own hump that you've brought on by yourself, on your very own self, by not working. Today is Thursday, and you've done no work since Monday. When the work began, now you are going to work." "How can I," said the camel, "with this hump on my back?" "That's made a purpose," said the Djinn. "All because you missed those 3 days you'll be able to work now for 3 days without eating, because you can live on your hump. And don't you ever say I never did anything for you. Come out of the desert and go to the 3 and behave. Humph yourself." And the camel humphed himself, humph and all, and went away to join the 3. And from that day, the camel always wears a hump. We call it a hump now, not to hurt his feelings, but he has never caught up with the 3 days that he missed at the beginning of the world, because he has never yet learnt how to behave. The camel's hump is quite an ugly lump, which well you may see at the zoo, but uglier yet is the hump we get from having too little to do. Kiddies and grown-ups too, if we haven't enough to do. We get the lump, the camelless lump, the hump that is black and blue. We climb out of bed with a fuzzly head and a snarly, yarly voice. We shiver and scowl, we grunt and we growl at our bath and our boots and our toys. And there ought to be a corner for me. I know there's one for you. When we get the hump, camelless hump, the hump that is black and blue. The cure for ill is not to sit still, to frowst by a book by the fire, but to take a large hoe and a shovel also, and dig till you gently perspire. And then you will find that the sun and the wind and the Djinn of the garden too have lifted the hump, that horrible hump, the hump that is black and blue. I get it as well as you, if you haven't enough to do. We all get the hump, camelless hump, kiddies and grown-ups too. And that is how the camel got its hump.